Well, what's up? Talk to me.
Um, now it's my whole thing. Like I said, I got different things coming up. So I'm definitely trying to put my situation together to where I'm more prepared. I'm gonna keep it real. How I tapped in with you, I was burnt out with the influencer dude, and I'm like, you know what? I just happened to, you know, tap in with you because I'm telling him he like, yo, if I charge that much that you want people to charge, people don't want to hear what you want to hear. So I'm like, bro, what you mean? I'm paying for a service. I'm paying for you pay for a coach so a coach tell you what's real. I need to work on my jump shot. I need to da 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 da. So he like basically saying like he can't charge as much or all type of bullshit. I end up just hitting it's in my algorithm because I'm already looking at all the rest of these goofies. Not to say you was, but I see you grinding somebody up, some younger dude. You know what I mean? And I'm like, he wasn't really thinking too well at the time, but I was thinking in my mind like, you know what? I'm gonna start watching him more because this is what me being new in the industry, I don't got no problem. I'm new in anything. I don't got no problem with people telling me what I need to be doing. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
I wasn't hearing nobody say what you were saying. You know what I mean? Like, yo, this ain't for you. This ain't it. You got to be willing to stick it out. Like, you know what I'm saying? The market's bad. This is, you know what I mean? A couple months ago, the market was a little worse. You know what I'm saying? If you're in a box truck, just, you know what I mean? What are we talking about? Do you got gas? Do you got money? Do you got fuel? Y'all winging it. I'm sitting there like, you know what? I ain't gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? So I've been watching since. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. I want to get my shit together, and maybe we can tap in after that. Not my stuff together, but I want to have everything in front of me. We can set a date. You can round me up just so I can be prepared. Now that I've had this 6 months, I really want to know what I need to be doing to be more successful. You know what I mean? Because I got a couple dollars and I'm trying to get probably like 2 more trips once my foundation.
Well, yeah. Well, you well, you gave us a lot of nothing with your little whole like you giving us information, but then it's like you withholding information. So I've listened to a lot of the shit you said. You reverted back to this content creator who you don't want to tell us who he is or who she is, and even you went to that person for information, but they said they didn't want to give it to you because they didn't want to charge you for it or some shit. So I don't even know how many trucks you got. I don't know what you even got going on because you really haven't divulged any of that information. So
I got one now.
it's something going on with your uh are you covering the microphone with your finger or something going on?
Can you hear me now?
That's better.
All right. I'm like my phone was acting up. I couldn't do it on my phone because earlier it just was going. The screen was black, so I'm on my Surface Book right now.
Yeah, but you gotta stop moving, and whatever you did a minute ago, that was straight. Now it's kind of back janky again. But you said you got one truck.
Yeah, I got one truck now. I was leasing one, and then I had a one that I bought that I'm leased that I'm in a noodle.
So you got two trucks.
No, now I have one. I let go of it. You know what I'm saying? Because I realized that I need to
You was
focus on the one.
you was leasing the other one,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
leasing or renting
I was leasing. I ended up somebody
for
somebody
how
took
many
a lease on
years?
mine. 3.
And what'd you do? Reneged on the
Uh,
lease?
no, no, no. It was through Penske. I ended up somebody helped me. Somebody that's already in the industry helped me take it off my hands. You know what I'm saying? I basically figured that I had a couple dollars doing a couple other things. I could handle certain things, but it ain't work like that.
So you got one truck that you financing right now.
Yeah, I'm financing.
What is it doing?
Right now about 4,700 a
No,
week.
what? No, what is it doing? What do you got it doing?
OTR.
Okay, 4,700 a week gross, and what is it? What are you netting?
About 2,700.
So you're making 47 and you're netting 27.
Yeah,
It's
well,
only
if I
cost you
my
2,000. So
I gotta take driver payout, so part of me.
right. So how
So
much are you
for me, it's
netting?
about a band. About a band. I'm netting about a band myself. Anywhere from like 800 to
So what are you paying your driver? 1,000 a week.
20%.
20%?
Yeah.
What are you paying yourself?
I mean, it's just Imma keep it real, it's been rough. I just got good the last month and a half ago, so I pay myself, like, whatever is left over after I put, like generally every week I put, like, 500 away for, like, emergency type situation.
So what are you
I
cash
bet
flowing then?
like 5,
What are you
maybe a little
cash
more.
flowing?
About like 4 grand a month, like
No,
4
what
grand
are
a
you
month.
cash flowing a week on average?
A
A
band?
thousand
What
a
do you mean?
week?
Yeah, yeah, it's
No,
about a band.
so what are you paying yourself? Because you said you was paying yourself a band, so the
That's
numbers
what
ain't adding up.
I pay myself 500 of it.
So you so you're paying yourself 500 of that 1,000.
Yeah,
So then you cash flow 500.
into the account, into my savings. 5 goes in the savings, 5 goes to me.
What you gonna do? This your
Actually,
first year in the bit. This your first year in the business.
absolutely. Absolutely.
You operating at a loss.
Yes.
All right. So what you want to talk about?
Um, I mean, like I said, my last month and a half been kinda, like, working for me. I think when I'm moving forward after my 6 like, now that I'm coming into my 6 months, what is it I could do to be more prosperous? Like, I feel like I've kinda learned a lot, not that I have all the information. I have enough to understand how to survive. Um, you know what I mean? What is it you recommend at, like, if you was to start today, at your 6 months you just got there, what do you recommend a person doing?
How much is your truck note?
Uh, 1380,
How much is your insurance?
725
$725 a month.
a month, yeah.
How old are you?
I'm 37.
What year, make, and model is your truck?
2018 Freightliner.
How old is your driver?
Driver I got right now is 37.
Is he on the policy?
Yep.
Are you on the policy?
No. The policy is in an older family member of mine. They're not even
So
that much older.
so
They're like
so so
40.
so so the driver isn't listed on the policy.
Yes, the driver is listed on it. All my drivers are on my policy.
You got one truck. How many drivers you got listed on your policy?
I got the person that I have the policy in their name and my driver.
Hold on, hold on. The policy should be in the business's name.
Yeah, but I mean, it's two people. It's my company, 48 Acres Ltd,
The
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 driver, and
policy
then
should be under the business name. Who are the people that you have listed on the policy as drivers?
my driver and a female friend of mine. The policy is in my business name.
Why do you got a female friend of yours on the policy?
Well, initially, that's who helped me put it. Like I don't have a license, so I could have still put it in my name, but my insurance allowed me to say, "Hey, look, we'll use her," and I use her, and that's how I got my, you know,
So you don't got a driver's license.
no,
And how old is this lady?
she ain't that like 44.
So you got a 44-year-old woman. Her MVR is what? Clean. And then you got this 37-year-old guy. His MVR is what?
Clean.
2018 Freightliner. Who's your insurance provider?
Um, coming out of New York, it's progressive, but I'm going through a company named Cornerstone.
And what type of policy you got?
1,000 and 100,000. I mean, a million and 100,000.
What about general liability?
I can't think of the top. I got everything though that's needed to run. I will say that my
I'm
safety
trying to
before
figure out why
everything.
your insurance is so low.
Listen, I went through. This is what I ain't gonna lie. This is why I said, dude, I wasn't mad at dude after this. I went through a company called TAP. He put me in heard of truckers. It's called
I can't. Your
TAP.
phone was going out. Say that again.
I went through a company named TAP. It's called, I can't think of the acronym, but they are who hooked me up with the insurance company. When I say they doing miracles for everybody, legitly. Um, That's who helped me. I ain't gonna lie. Even my mentor, like, I ain't gonna lie, you got to do something. I've heard in a long time. That's what's helping me survive.
So how much are you spending on fuel a week?
That's what's
Average.
smoking me. Probably like I ain't gonna lie, probably like 15 to 1700.
So if you say you averaging 4,700 a week, and
Yeah,
before labor, you net 2,700 a week, and
yeah.
1,500 a week is fuel. What's your cost per mile?
$1. I do one. I don't like to do nothing under 125, 122 at the most. $1.15.
You said say that again.
$1.15.
No, what was you saying before you said $1.15?
I said I don't like to go like my high. Like I like to sit at 135, 122 is like where I'll be like, this is the lowest I want to take.
No, I said what's your cost per mile.
Yeah, and I said mine is 115.
So you don't take no loads for less than 115.
No, not at all. I have not.
So
Not
what's
at
your
all.
cost per? So what's your cost per mile?
My cost per mile is 115. I don't take no
That
loads under 122.
once again, what's your cost per mile?
115. My cost per mile.
You don't know what cost per mile is.
Yeah, it is. I did all my. I got a whole paper. My safety. That's one thing my safety helped me do. That's how I got the number.
What?
By the
No,
way.
no. You came up here and you said you trying to figure out how to make more money, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And I asked you what your cost per mile is, and you said you don't take nothing less than 115. You trying 135.
I said 122 to 135. My cost per mile is $1.15.
Your cost per mile is $1.15.
Right.
And what does that mean?
That's how much it costs me to run my business on a daily, like
And
with
you don't
everything, without me getting a dollar.
and what does that consist of?
Fuel, driver, uh, factoring fee, and fuel driver factoring fee, and my insurance and my and that little 500 that I throw in there for like my just in case. The
Well,
only
one,
thing I'm dying.
how can
Go ahead.
you throw 500 in there when you don't know what you gonna gross or net from week to week? And two, you say if you're averaging 4,700 and before paying labor costs, you're averaging about net 2,700 prior to labor costs, and you're averaging $1,500 a week in fuel.
About
Like
17. Yeah.
all these other costs is just it's not adding up. You're not including your truck. No, you're not including a bunch of stuff in there. One, your cost per mile ain't right. Two, you said you're not taking you taking rates of you running loads between what was the rate the range
I
that you
said
run rates.
122 to 135.
So when you on the load board looking for loads, you looking for shit from 122 to 135.
I look for over that. Mind you, I said I got a dispatch. My dispatch helps me out with that. But
Right.
when I'm looking, I don't never no, I don't never. I'm just
All
looking
right.
for those.
So so if your cost per mile is $1.15 and you taking loads for a minimum of 122, right? You'll take something you said at 122, right? To
Yep.
135. So how much are you making? A mile.
It depends on what it is.
At the minimum. If your cost per mile 115 and you say you taking loads at a minimum 122, what you making a mile?
7.
7 cent?
Yeah.
Okay.
I came into it, and this might be the wrong way to look at it. I came into it like after going through everything. All right, let me get to the 6 months and live to die another day. As long as the bills is paid, I'm not tripping. That's the way I came into it.
That's fine.
But
But 7 cent, is one thing on operating on low margins, but one, I don't think your cost per mile is $1.15.
mhm.
Two, you probably operating at a loss. If you taking shit, if in your mind, if it's costing you this to run your truck, if I don't think it's that, but let's say it is, and you know it's that. In your mind, you think it's that, and you taking shit to make 7 cents. I don't understand.
Well, I mean, I'm saying that this is my like for instance, last week I got one load all week. Arizona to North Carolina, I got 3,500 for it. 35.50 for it. That ended up being 166 a mile with the deadhead
Wait,
added in.
Arizona to where?
Arizona to North Carolina.
And how
It was
much?
2,100 miles. It ended up being 21 with deadhead. That'd be like 22 and some change. I got 35.
And then what the driver do?
Well, that was the end of my driver's week. He just dropped it off today.
So
They,
what
you
did
know what
he
I mean?
do? Where are you at? In DC, you said?
No,
Philly?
I'm in Pennsylvania.
Okay. So he went to Arizona, drove from Arizona all the way to North Carolina. When did he get to North Carolina? Wednesday or Tuesday or some shit?
Uh, it was Monday night. Monday night he picked it up from like an Amazon. It was Amazon facility. So it was like Monday. We got there Thursday night.
And then what? He just deadheaded back up to Philly? Or he just sat in the
No,
truck? He just sat in the truck all through the holiday weekend.
no, and that wasn't the through that weekend. That
You
wasn't
said
last
last
weekend. Last
week.
week,
Last week was
yeah, last week.
Thanksgiving.
He just dropped it off today. That was just got dropped off today.
Okay,
So
so
really, yeah,
what I'm saying
Monday.
was, if you only had one load, what did he do all those days after he dropped it off?
He did. He picked it up Monday night and dropped it off this morning.
That's this week. You said last week.
Yeah. That's part of me. Part of me. Yeah, this week he got it Monday, dropped it off today. So 1 a.m. today he had to drop it off in Salisbury, North Carolina.
You said last week. This week, bro.
Yeah, that
Today?
was,
Come
yeah,
on,
part of
man.
me. I was mixed up. Part of me.
You ain't making no money, dog. You don't know what you're doing. Who is this guy you paying, man? Who is this guy you paying that don't that because I don't like what none of this the numerical stuff that I asked you, and I asked you a certain way so I can get the truth from you. None of it makes sense.
No, my math is good, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
All right, so here's the thing: if your math good and your cost per mile is $1.15 and you taking loads for $1.22,
I said those are my lows. Like the lowest I like to try to take. I'll say no all day long. Yeah, every time I
you
get a
could
phone
say
call,
no, but you told me that's what you taking, so I can only go off
yeah,
what you say.
yeah. I said this is my low. Like my low 122. What I like to take, I'm at. I take 135, and that's where I'm comfortable at. 135 is like okay, things is cool, but 122 is the lowest I go. I'm not taking it
So 20 cents a mile net profit,
at 30. Yeah, at 135. Yeah.
and you think you
This
can
last one was
survive off of that?
166. This last one was 160. Again, I wasn't really trying to survive. This ain't paying my bills. I was on some. I'm just living to die another day. Get to 6 months. You
Living
know
to
what I
die
mean?
never
Once I
die.
get
I
there,
never heard
now
that
I can.
before.
Listen, that's where I was at with it. Everything I'm doing by myself. I paid main man within a month and a half. I was off of it. I ain't fucking.
Yeah, I
No,
don't. I so you want to make money then, right?
that's my goal moving forward.
You don't know what it's costing you to run your business. That's why you're not making nothing, big dog. Now you can say you know your math, but bro, just me sitting here, I asked you certain questions because I was looking for true answers. You see what I'm saying? And you gave me true answers because there's no way that the answers that you gave me, if there's if if you it would have been better to finesse it. That's why I know it's the truth.
Right.
So I know that's the truth because you wouldn't you would trust me. So you ain't making no money, like I figured.
No,
Before
I
I
never
even
said I'm
asked
not.
you those questions, no. So in order to make money, you gotta know what it's really costing you to run your business. First of all,
I feel like I'm getting beat on fuel. That's where everything else is cheap. That's in my opinion.
you're not getting beat on fuel. You're getting beat because you don't know what it costs. Fuel is fuel. If you're
Yeah, I'm
running
saying
over the road, you're gonna pay fuel. How much you pay? You paying your driver 20%.
right.
Okay. Well, how much did you make this week?
35,
The
35.50.
one load.
Yeah.
35.50, and your driver gonna get $710 of that. And how much did it cost you to run this week in fuel?
A bit. It was close to like 88. I ain't gonna hold this. Almost 800. I can look it up right now on my phone. 2 seconds. I
So
got
that
it.
leaves
I
you at
got it.
about $2,000.
Right.
Now, what is your cost of insurance? Your cost of,
My
because once you
insurance is
put your cost per
1350.
mile,
My
I hear it. But
eight.
but but what does that
Yeah.
what does they equate to daily in your fixed cost per mile?
Yeah, 1 second. That's 7166.
I don't know, bro. 7160.
Yeah, 7166.
So you have your cost per mile written down somewhere. You do it. How often do you
I,
do
I
your
have
cost
it
per
at
mile?
8. I got it at 80. I got it at 85. That's why I was looking at it like, then that's lower than what I did in the beginning was 85. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna
85
lie.
cents?
Yeah, that's how. No, just for insurance and my yeah, insurance and my vehicle.
I think I'm not even finna try to deal with the math. I think
I
you
mean,
should
we can do it.
reevaluate your cost per mile. All right.
All right.
Two, you're not driving a truck, bro. You got one truck. Even if we get your cost per mile right, like what you want to make, you're probably not going to want to make. You got one truck and you're not in it. Even if you wanted to get in, you couldn't get in it because you ain't got a driver's license. So the type of money that you probably want to make, you're not gonna get it in one box truck if you're able to get anything.
Well, that was this conversation. What this conversation was about. I think for me, it's like the first one I'm trying to all out learn. Whether I take a year, whether it take 18 months, I need to figure this out.
Why would you start a box truck business and you ain't got no driver's license? That's the question I really want to ask you.
I
Now I'm
mean, I
not
got
saying that there's people that don't start businesses that can't get, but me personally, like if I'm me personally, I wouldn't start a business that requires driving and I can't drive my own equipment if need be, especially if I'm starting from a very, very humble start. Because this is it. If your driver abandons your equipment, you gotta find somebody to go get your shit.
that's done. That happened. That didn't happen already. That didn't happen already.
So I, the type of money you probably want to make as an investor, because that's what it seems like your head is that an investor, you're gonna have to scale, but
That
you're gonna have to get your shit together first. Your numbers ain't. You may think your numbers are right. Your numbers ain't right, bro.
I
They're not
respect it.
right.
That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here.
I tell people their numbers ain't right all the time. It's the times where I have the mental capacity to dig deep into it. I've been doing this long enough that I could just listen to you. I ask questions, I listen, I absorb information. I know your numbers ain't right.
That's why I said you get time, we can line up another one where you can really, do the help me with
Yeah,
that. If anything.
maybe the next call-in show I can. But today I just don't want to go down that road, bro. That's why I didn't go down with the guy earlier. Mentally, I just don't. Man, that should be. It's just draining. It's becoming draining because I just expect people to know this stuff and they just don't. So I just don't want to really go that route this Friday evening. So I think you should reevaluate your cost. Um, uh, what is it going to take you to get a driver's license?
It's gonna be like another. I got a bunch of stuff going on, man. I ain't gonna drive my vehicle. I
I
gotta
didn't
be
tell
the
you to
police.
drop your vehicle. I just asked you what it's going to take for you to get your driver's license.
Yeah, I got another year, so I gotta. You know what I mean? So it's gonna be. I
Huh?
gotta do it. It's gonna be
What?
another year.
So you got some other shit. When I was asking from a financial perspective. Like, but
Oh, what do you mean?
it sound like you on some type of suspension type shit.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Oh, so yeah, so I already know what it is. Start with a D.
Right. You
Start with a
said what?
D. Start with a D.
Yeah, yeah. I was, you know what I mean. That's why I set up the. I'm trying to get
Wait, all
myself
that
away from.
that 1942. What was it? That Don Julio Aneo. What
No,
was it?
no,
What you was sipping
no.
on that night?
This
What you was
was
sipping
this
on that
was a
night?
this wasn't that. That wasn't
It
that.
what?
This
It didn't start with a D.
no, no, no. I thought you meant
Okay.
like I got a evaded police officer. This is a whole case involved with.
Oh, you on the high speed?
No,
You
this
took
is
him
what's
on
so
the high
crazy.
speed?
No, I end up copping out of a charge for something else, and they threw that charge on there. What I wasn't aware of, well, I was, my lawyer told me, I'm like, I ain't worried about it. Like, I don't care about my license. Get me off the charge. He like, yo, it's a 5-year suspension. I'm like, I don't care. If I'm gonna that charge, I done behind changed my life. A couple years later, I started changing my life into a different direction. I'm like, damn, I wish I had it now.
Yeah, bro. I think you'll be better off just driving your own truck.
Me too. I ain't gonna lie. That's been as I'm seeing, like I told you, first of all, my first 4 months was hell. Hell, but I got off my mental, started doing my own thing. My own
Your
thing.
first 4 months was hell because you didn't know what you was investing in, and then whoever you was paying wasn't giving you the information that you needed,
Right. Where I'm at now, the past 6 months,
they don't know what the hell they was doing themselves.
but I'm gonna
Because
keep it 100.
what you just told me, big dog, like that shit crazy. So if you was paying somebody, you said you was paying some content creator, and the shit you just told me,
I gave him a little something for help. Not like we wasn't no monthly, nothing like that. It was
well,
like, yo,
shit, what type of
it ended up
help?
being bogus. It ended up being bogus. For real, for real. It ended
I
up being
know,
bogus.
I see, I
Everything I
see.
got now,
Hmm?
everything I got now, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, Snooty, call back up. I'm finna let you up, Snooty. I saw you in the back. Call back up. So everything you got now, what?
You know, I kind of learned on the humbug by myself. I felt like if he was going to cheat me, I would cheat myself. You know what I'm saying? Well, not cheat myself, but learn myself, and things have been working out. For the most part, my past 2 months been solid and consistent. Um, like you said, I was operating a loss bad. Like it was one thing after another. Bad driver.
I think you still operating at a loss. You just don't know it.
Yeah, I still up now, but I mean, I'm able to. I ain't cry about no bills in almost 3 months. At least it's being paid itself, paying itself. I ain't cry about. That's all I was worried about till now. When I get to the fix my money.
So you fine with operating at a loss, it seemed like.
No, what I was fine. My goal was to get to the 6 months. From what I was hearing, everybody was like, "Yo, this is where you need to get to. Get to that 6 months, and then you can move." Right. So I'm like, if I can get there, then I'll figure out everything else. You know what I'm
Bro. I really want to know who this person is, bro.
saying? Shakur Mack.
Never heard of him.
It'll probably pop up sooner or later. You'll be like, "Oh, this is goofy."
Nah, I wouldn't call him a goofy. You call him a
No,
goofy because
I'm,
you spent
because
your money
I
with
got
him.
like I said, in the vehicle, that was it.
Shakur Mack.
That's where I lost my on the vehicle.
Shakur Mack. Shakur Mack. Welcome to my page. My name is Shakur Mack. You got a beard.
Yeah, it could be one of them. There's a couple fake.
Where'd you find him at? He only got 9 subscribers.
That's a fake page then. Yeah. But wait, is it on IG or on?
I'm on YouTube.
Oh yeah, I don't. It don't really. It was through a. It's through a friend of mine that basically it was a homie through a friend like, yo, my man's doing the thing. He got me for a band.
I don't know.
The vehicles is the ugly situation for me. You know what I mean? That's a whole. I done did my research. I got a lawyer on it and everything. He ain't had nothing to do with the vehicle. We digging deep. I just can't get my right now. We having an ugly time to get my bread because there's certain laws that Florida don't have in Pennsylvania in regards to like lemon laws. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So that's what we working with. That's what I'm working with right now.
Well, they know him in the chat. I don't know him. See, I don't be on Instagram, so I don't know a lot of these guys. You know, I don't really be checking for them. So I don't know. So, but I guess lifestyle person sells lifestyle. So I don't know, man. You know, I think here's the thing, because I think you should go back to the drawing board and reassess everything. I think you need to get your numbers right. I think you need to break everything down, formulate your cost per mile, right? The correct way. I got a video on it. I think you should go watch that video, because when I asked you what did your cost per mile entail, there were some things that you left out. And, you know, they weren't like miscellaneous things. You left out fixed shit like the cost of your truck note, you know. So, and you said you didn't include it. And then you're including numbers that you're pulling out of thin air based on, you know, what you're expecting at the end of the week. Like, that shit don't even make sense. So go watch that video and follow that method of calculating your cost per mile. And then the next time we do one of these, come up with your true cost per mile. And then from there, now you know what it's truly costing you to run. You got to make a profit, bro. You know, you can't just be grabbing shit just because, you know, for whatever reason you grabbing shit. I don't know what your reasoning is. If you believe your cost per mile is $1.15 and you grabbing shit at $1.22, I mean, I don't understand like the reasoning behind that, bro. To be honest with you.
Well, I think you still hang up. That was my. That's I said that's my low. I won't go under that. Like if it's at one
So
point I was operating a loss.
you gonna send a driver from Arizona
I,
to North
that Arizona
Carolina
to North Carolina was
for
one
7 cents a
166.
mile?
I got one.
Huh? One
I got
sixty six.
166. Yeah, I got 166 a mile for that.
So you know, I think you really need to reassess what it is that you got going on, big dog.
Absolutely.
If your insurance is what you saying it is, I think that's a great rate. I mean, I think your truck note is good, but I just don't think your numbers are correct. I don't even think your accounting is up to par. How are you keeping account of your credits and debits?
I do that. I just pay what it come. I think what's the biggest.
You
I
said
just
who
pay as it.
you
I
said
got
who do it?
me
So how do you keep account of this shit?
of what guy get paid like profit and loss.
How do you keep account of your accounting? Your credits, your debits. How do you keep account? Accounts payable, like how do you what do you
I'm paying
walk me
everything
through
based
it?
on notebook, bro. I got a notebook with what got to be dates and that's it. I'm, I ain't got no. I don't got no. How I don't got no. You know what I mean? Nothing like that. Only thing I do is pay my drivers. I got a payroll company that pay my drivers. The lady that helped me with my credit, she does that for free. Literally, she just messing me that heavy that she does that for free. 1099, all of that. Other than that, I don't have no other way to do it. It is sloppy. It's messy.
Hey, man, if that's how you do it. That's how you do it. But the reason why you struggling is because your setup is crazy. You don't know what it costs you to run your business, and I don't know what Buddy told you at the beginning, but based on the information you telling me, it couldn't have been much because it's just
Nothing.
I just don't think you know too much, bro. I would go through the numbers with you, but I ain't gonna lie. Today I just don't got it. I don't got it today, bro. I ain't
But
I don't.
you'll see me tap back in. You'll see me tap back in. You know, I definitely ain't afraid to know. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Whenever you're ready, you know what I mean. I'll tap back in another day.
yeah.
Sure.
And I don't know if you got all the. I don't think you got all the information I need anyway to fully break it down.
I mean, I got every. Well, I mean, whenever you're ready, I got anything on my phone. Anything that I'm paying, whatever you're gonna need is gonna be.
You got
In
everything
regards
ready right now.
for idea, that's what I was gonna say. In regards
Uh,
to what is it should I should have that you need? These
Snooty,
things
you
that
calling back? Snooty, you calling back up or no? You said what?
you see in the video, right?
Huh?
I'm about to say, in regards to it, like if you got a video, I'll go through and make sure you got a link.
Yeah, the video on the homepage is called how to calculate your cost per mile. You can just search for it when you go to my channel. It's real basic, you know what I'm saying? So it's gonna help you calculate your cost per mile the right way. You know. What's the formula you what's the formula that you use to calculate what you came up with?
Initially, right now when I just came up with that was my payment for my car payment and my insurance.
No, what's the formula that you use? How'd you come up with the
I
dollar
divided the
15?
number by I divided the number by 30.
You bad a number by what?
30.
You bad what number by 30?
I divided my car payment. You had asked me what was my car payment and my insurance.
No. What formula did you use to come up with your cost per mile?
I
What's
added
the
it all up
formula?
and then divided it by 30.
So you added up all your costs and you
Originally, yeah.
divided by 30?
Was that
Where'd you come
wrong?
who told you that?
I mean, that's like I said, I got off you immediately, so I've been rocking out doing my own little thing.
So nobody told you that? You just figured that you just
No,
came up with that formula on your own?
I mean, I wanted to figure out how much I gotta make, so I gotta figure out how much I'm gonna make a day
Right.
to get through my life. I do that with trapping as it is.
So that's what
Like,
I'm saying. What formula did you use to calculate
that's
your
the
cost per
formula
mile? You added
formula I
up
use.
all your costs and you divided it by 30. All right? That's what you're saying, right? What does 30 represent?
Each day of the month.
That's
1
wrong.
month.
That's wrong. So when I told you a little while ago that your numbers are wrong, I'm 100% right again.
Okay.
Because that's not the formula.
So
That's not the formula, bro. So
well again, that's why I'm here. You know what I'm saying?
I got a
Like,
video. You should go watch that video and then recalculate your cost per mile, bro. Do it on a 30-day. Run it past the last 30 days and see what you come up with. And do it the exact way that I did in the video. And then keep doing it. Do it every week. Because this is not it. That formula is wrong. All wrong. What? So you didn't even include the miles.
no. No, I definitely
There
did.
you,
That's never in there. You're right. I ain't never yeah. You're right.
because that's part of the formula. Not what the way you did it. That's not the formula. That's why it's not right. That's why I can listen to what you're saying. You give me a number. I ask you questions. What this costs? What's this? How much your insurance? How much is that? This, that, and the third. I'm asking you certain questions. Then I ask you what's your cost per mile. You give me a number. I'm doing. I've been doing this long. I'm doing the math in my head, and just based off what you're telling me, I know a range, and the number you gave me ain't it. So I know something's wrong there. So even though you think you're doing right, and I'm telling you that's wrong, and you like, man, how you gonna tell me what my numbers is? Because I know what I'm talking about because I've been doing this so long. I got experience. That's why now I'm like, well, what's the formula? Because I want to know why you think this. What's the formula you use? All right, now I know why this shit is wrong. Watch that video, big dog.
Yeah, I'm on it, man. I appreciate your
Then,
time, man.
then come back next time with the right number. Then we'll kick it from there.
Solid.
All right.
All
All
right.
right.
Peace.
All right.